We need to break free of eBay's geofencing. They're holding us back. Welcome back to Stats and Stuff. This is episode 79. It's June the 24th, and we're looking at the figures from June the 23rd. So let's get straight in. Okay, so let's get into these after chat and let's get straight into these figures and see what we're seeing. So we can see page views. Now, these have gone up massively overnight, and we can only put this down to the two sides that we've been putting into things, which is the offsite traffic coming in, which is creating more page views organically, and it's also doing it via the external as well. So we can see that's going to be helping with this. It's also going to be the new implementation that we have started doing, and this is a way for us to break the geofencing that eBay is putting in this lighthouse effect of when it shows our products to other people. Now, this is not a hack. As such, it is a legitimate eBay platform strategy, and it is something that it has in place already, but is very little known. But we'll go into that in the big picture, which will be coming out probably tomorrow. But we just want a few more days of settling in, making sure that these figures are reporting correctly. But it's definitely looking that it's doing what we wanted it to do, which is break that geofencing. We want to break that lighthouse effect, and we want to start creating our own traffic geographically as far as the wider net, without eBay filtering down what we do. But okay, let's get into this a bit more detail. So page views 515, that's back where we should be. That's where we were before all this June malarkey started happening, and we could see it was an increase of 70%. Now that sits nicely with understanding what's happening with the organic page views. So we can see organic went up by 75.1%, and that went up to 366 organic page views. That's where we want it. These are the figures we want to be seeing. So how are we doing as well on external? Well, it's increased by 161.5%. Massive increase, 76 for the day. That is down to what we're doing with growing traffic, not through eBay's control. And that is what offsite ads does from eBay. It still controls you. It will broaden your scope of net, and I'm not saying it doesn't work for many people, because it does. Obviously, we've seen some of these figures, but for those of us that fall into this Noah's Ark effect, this manipulation, this control of our ability to get sales and traffic, those accounts which are controlled by offsite ads, there are part of that offsite ads that controls what you can get. It will take its foot off the pedal with its promoting when it feels that you're getting close to your limits. And we can see that as we go through, and we can see it with the promoted page views. 73. I mean, honestly, what the hell is 73? I've got 722 listings, and by promoting, you're basically giving me 1% of my page views are from promoted, and that's at 20% promotion. It doesn't matter how high we promote, we've hit that roof, and it's not going to give us any more, and it throttles back on that promoted as we get more organic and external page views. We know this, we can see this, it's there in the stats. So the impressions by placement, we can see it's keeping that control of the split. It's around that mark, the 2/3 organic, 1/3 promoted. It's always sitting a few percent either way of that, and we can see that happening there. Then we break it down to the top 20 rest of search, non-search. We can see that the same sort of split is there, and it's keeping that percentage growth going as well. So what we're doing is pulling in, and we're gaining what's available to us. There is a finite amount of traffic that eBay says this is what you can have, and this is what we're going to promote up to increase that level so you get a full amount. But we're getting it more in the top 20 and rest of search. We can see those numbers, they're incrementally growing. The non-search, obviously, we know that's down to placement inside other people's listings. We know that's down to additional impressions on the store and category pages when we're driving traffic to the store. We don't mind that. It's what we want, it's what we expect. So that's absolutely fine. So we're not focusing too much on that as a whole. But we can see how it related into sales. We got 2 sales on the board. They were promoted, surprise, surprise. As we can see, as ever, it doesn't matter what we do, they always make sure that they stick their additional fee in there with the promoted listings. It's not natural. It's not natural that there should be this lower number of organic sales. With the amount of things that we're doing on the account, we're getting massively up there in the top 20. We're getting up there in the rest of search. We're getting there in organic page views. But still, it always manages to slap a promoted listed fee on there. Again, there are many conspiracy theories as to whether that's real, or if that is a case of their halo effect is so broad in their grey areas within their policies that they manage to slap it on almost everything. We're not going to worry about that. That's an argument for another day, because we're covered in our profit margin to cater for all additional listing fees, any promoted fees, any promoting discounts that we do. We're covered with that, so that's fine. But we can see from the stats, as we see, no matter what we do, it's going to keep us, or at least at this point, it's still keeping us within that monthly daily average Noah's Ark 2 a day effect. Now, we're low on that figure at the moment, because obviously, as we've said, it's been an appalling month. And even to get to 1.6 average, we're actually pretty surprised and happy to have reached that. It's not where we want it, but it's in spitting distance of where we need to get to that 2 a day again. So with a good few days over the next week, we should be able to get into that 2 a day, and then we can start building and putting those foundations moving forwards to get above the 2, because we need above the 2. We need 4s and 6s and 8s, which is where we've been on the odd day, but then eBay pulls us back. So we need to be working on pulling that away from their control. The year-to-date stats now, okay, yes, on the whole, these are good figures. We're happy with this. I mean, if you think about it, eBay say that they kind of cap you around the 65% increase year on year so that you don't expand too fast. We're still there. I mean, we're at 215.6% up year on year. The quantity sold, now that's getting close. Now that's at 99.9%. We've only got about 30 odd percent wiggle room there on the quantity sold to keep it above the 65% growth. The average sale price, although with that in place, is sitting up 58.2%. Now that's good. We're happy with that. That means that we're increasing our average sale, which means we're increasing the level of margin available for us within our sales. Total buyers is down to 40.4% up year on year. Now that's a little low for us. We want to get that into the hundreds. Maybe we're shooting a little too high. As long as we can get over to 65, that's the bare minimum to hit eBay's control. The one-time buyer split on that, obviously, we can see that's up 19.9%. So that's very low. They're keeping us a lot lower on the one-time buyers for that 65% growth. We need to get that up. But luckily, we've been focusing on repeat business, which is covering us on the whole with that year-on-year sale, because we can see we're up 215.6%, and we've managed to get 37 repeat customers. So we can see that repeat custom is pulling in, and the multi-buys is pulling in with the other campaigns that we're running, the markdowns as such, which is the discount offs, because we can't really do markdowns because we change the price by a penny each day. So that's another tip and effect that we do on the account to improve that. The top 5 categories, happy with those. They're sitting pretty, not a worry with those. The journey to success has been a concern this month, and we've ended up coming all the way back down to our £500 target for the week, which is our first target. Now, we need to get that steady. I think we were shooting a little high when we started increasing it in the scheme of things, but there wasn't any reason for us not to try. Now, if eBay were to just take their foot off the control pedal, maybe we'd have a chance of expanding the way we want to expand in the single account on the platform. The YouTube channel, that's going great in all fairness, and we're even though we're a little bit behind on target, it's not the end of the world. We're pushing in the right direction. We're happy with that. We'll get there. It's all good. It's all good. The YouTube channel book, 10 sales. Okay, it's nothing to write home to the Queen about, and get an OBE or anything like that, for being an amazing author. It's something for the community. It's something for people out there that are looking to learn and increase their knowledge base for the platform to get better success. And it does cover a lot of things that aren't generally covered on the channels out there at the moment. Not just the standard stuff, but there's a lot more broader scope of things that you can be improving on that can help just beef up that profit margin and the amount of sales and your success and the speed of your success as you go. But 10 in the first week with no promotion other than just a shout out here on the channel. I'm happy with that. So what are we doing going forward? All right, so we've made a lot of changes, and we're trialing a few things, and there's some things that have worked that we've re-implemented. We've also got the new approach, shall we say, at the moment that we're using, that is also looking and seeming on the surface to be helping. It's breaking that geofence. It's allowing us more visibility, and it just amazes me that no one really seems to know about this. Now, we've touched on it once in the past, but it was a very unsuccessful strategy back then. But the platform has changed, and the abilities to implement this piece of software, which is eBay's, and it's web based, and you can get to it very simply, and we'll explain all that for you, as I say, in the big picture video that'll be coming out tomorrow. But it seems to be making a difference, and that's good. Nothing that we've done with that has actually resulted in, how can I word this rightly? So these additional sales that we want to get through this software, it hasn't created anything on that side of the geofence, shall we say, at this stage. But has it implemented getting the 2 sales on where we're getting the sales normally? It's possible. We'll have to see. But either way, sales are sales. Doesn't matter where they come from. As long as we get them, we're happy with that. So that's going to be good, and we're going to be really excited, and we're going to be looking at getting that to you as quick as we can. We just want to do it justice in the video for you that we're going to give you out tomorrow. That's the plan. We got the thoughts and comments video to get together for you today. That should be out later this evening. That's the plan for that one. We'll see how that goes. That may end up being tomorrow and knocking everything back a day, but we'll see. We'll try and get it as quick as we can for you. But for us, it's been a struggled month. It really has. But we've proved time and time again that we can keep kicking that eBay barrier back a little further every time. Every time it throws it at us, we have the tools and the power to be able to push it back in places. It may only be short-lived in some cases. In other cases, they're more consistent and sustainable. Whether it's for everyone to do all these sort of things, that is down to the individual to decide what amount of time they can put into the eBay side of earning, or whether or not they feel that something is worth implementing. They might not agree, and that's what the comments are for, and that's why we love you guys commenting, because it helps us, and then we can improve our business just as well as you can improve your business, and this is what the community is about. So where are we going to be going from there? Now, that's a good question. I think at this stage we're going to keep this going for a while. We need to get, we're not going to implement anything new. We're just going to continue with what we've now got in place, get some stats together, get some results, show the figures as we're seeing them. They may not work. They may hit us and bite us in the butt. We don't know at this stage. It's too early to tell. But you'll see it, and we'll report it, and you'll be able to decide and make your own opinions going forwards. So if anyone's got anything they want to add, anything that they feel they've noticed in comparison to some of these figures, let us know. We can then see if there are similarities whether it be the products, whether it be where you're based, where you are in your eBay journey. It could be how old the account is. It could be how many listings you have up. Who knows? These are things that we can look into and we can work from and move forwards. But either way, I hope you have an awesome day of sales. And remember, keep it real. Has eBay changed its tactics or its coding or both? Welcome back to Stats and Stuff. This is episode 80 and it's now June the 25th and we're looking at the stats from June the 24th, so let's get in. Okay, so let's break down some of these screens, seeing what's happening, because it just doesn't seem to be sitting pretty with me, to be honest with you. So let's start with the total page views. Let's start at the top. So total page views, 314. It's curious, possibly coincidental, but it's reduced us by exactly 1/3 of the amount of page views overnight. It just doesn't seem right to me. And I think this is controlled between the different options of page view, definitely. So the two main areas that eBay control are your visibility for your organic page views and for your promoted. External can't really control that. That is literally an outside source. What it can control is how many it reports on. And it does that by manipulating it 3 days later, as we know. So, okay. So the organic page views, almost 46% down overnight. There aren't words, are there? I mean, let's be honest. Nothing drops by nearly 46% overnight. The world doesn't change by nearly 46% overnight. This is control. This is positioning, and there is a reason behind this. We can see external is reporting record highs at 82. So we know that's going to come down, because you can see from the stats below, we've been reporting very high for a very few days now, and it keeps stripping it back every few days. I don't know why they do it. It makes no sense to me. It's pointless to hide it from us after the fact. We've already seen it. It's done. Why even bother? But then you've got the promoted. Now, this is where we see this control. I feel what's happening is there is a minimum that it will allow or give to your account for whatever reasoning that eBay has on your listings, and where it could see that it stripped it right back of organic, because it doesn't want us to get organic sales. It wants us to get promoted. It's that simple, especially at 20%. Come on, it makes sense, doesn't it? So we can see that it's gone, right, we are definitely not having this much, but we now need to fill that pot back up again. And the way we can do that and entice people in to do a page view is by promoting it. And it's doing that promoted with the in-listing promotion. It is that simple. It is about, they are pushing the other items you may be interested in within other people's listings at the top there. It's that simple. So it's filled the pot back up again with the promoted to try and get us at least a promoted sale, because they want promoted sales. And we can see that once it's reached that 66.6%, it's gone, stuff you, we're not giving you any more. That's all you're getting. There's no other way for us to look at it. It is what they're producing. And we're seeing this time and time again. Especially at the moment, we can see what's happening. Since the beginning of June, the site has been pants. So many people have reported it. It can't just be the odd one or two. We're all seeing it. Big stores, small stores, middle stores, we're all suffering this ridiculous amount of loss of sales. Then on top of that, what are they doing? Okay, so they're giving you more impressions. And we can see from the impression placement, we can still see they're keeping that mix there. You know, sort of like the 2/3 to 3/4 in the organic, and still giving you that quarter in promotion. That's still sitting there to 1/3. I mean, that's fine. That mix is still happening. That is control. That's not moving in its own accords. That is completely controlled. And then when you split it down, those numbers aren't really any different from what they were yesterday. They really aren't. The top 20 is probably come down by a couple of hundred. The rest of search came down by a few hundred. Non-search went up by probably 10, 20,000 page views. So really, we're getting the same amount of impressions, but we're not getting even half the amount of page views. And why is that? Because it's unfavoring your listings. Why are they doing this? That's a very good question. I don't know at this point, but from what we can see, there are changes going on. There is a new tactic they're putting in play. What is that tactic? What is their end goal? Is it to do with coding and search and placement? Are they trialing something that they're not pushing out, that we haven't seen it properly yet? I think that's more likely the case. They are definitely trying something new, because the whole dynamic of June has been completely different to May. So what are they doing? We're going to have to keep our eyes open on this one and see what's going on, because we're still coming in at the 1s and the 2s on the sales. Yawn. Seriously. There's nothing wrong with our propositions. Our proposition is spot on. Our listings are spot on. If you follow the channel and our videos, you know that we go probably 300 times above and beyond the amount of excess work to make sure that our listings get the shiniest of shines on them when being put in front of people. So this is pure 100% eBay control. There's no way around it. We're still sitting below the 2 Noah's Ark effect. Now, whether or not there's enough days in the month to get enough sales back up, I don't know. But I think it's looking at the year, because we can see on the yearly stats where we were phenomenally growing. It's now petering out and plateauing. And not only is it plateauing, it's coming back down again. We've got the sales on the board. That's a guarantee. So we're sitting at 200%. Now, unless they completely screw us for the rest of the year, we're still going to be in the high 100 plus, like 180, 190% to 200 plus year on year for total sales. Our average sales price is going to be up there too. But the amount of sales, that's the question. How many sales is it going to give us for the rest of the year? I don't know. We'll see. But we've got to keep trying. We've got to keep pushing. And we are. We're trying new avenues. We have a new tactic that we have in play that we've mentioned yesterday. We should have got the video out yesterday. We're really, really sorry. There's just been so much focus on the eBay store. We just haven't had time to put the content together, but we are getting it out. I know I've also promised you the Your Thoughts and Comments video. I am truly, truly trying to get that out for you today as well. But there's just so much to get done. It then takes time for editing, and then obviously getting that exported and uploaded to YouTube just takes a bit of time as well. So we're doing the best we can for you with that one, but it's going to be a cracker. So we can see top 5 categories, they're storming on as usual, nothing really moving there. And then on the journey to success, oh my gosh, what's going on? This is just a knock on of what we've just been going through with these screens. We can't even hit our minimum at the minute. I mean, it's ridiculous. Surely I would love to be behind the curtain and see eBay's real figures at the minute, because I'll guarantee if this is what they're doing to all of us, then they're shafting themselves in the backside. They must be plummeting on sales on the last month. They must be, because there's no way they can be excelling when they're screwing over so many of us. Okay, the YouTube channel, we're still on target. We're going great. Thank you very much, guys. Your support, as ever, is absolutely monumental. As well as the book. The book is still there. It's still going. It's still available. If you want a copy, get a copy, because you got book 2 coming in the foreseeable future. We're still editing it, so you'll actually have a full series of workbooks and tips and advice and just things that you can use to help your business go that much further. Lots in there for you to look at. So let's have a look at what we're doing. All right, so we're not going to give in. I mean, it's that simple. We're just not going to give in. We know what we're doing is right, and that's the thing. We know what we're doing is right, and the reason we know that is because everything they ask us to do, we are doing. Okay? Then on top of that, we're doing a whole slew of other things to keep us moving even further. Okay. So what are they changing that's now not giving the results at the moment that it should be getting? Our stock is evergreen. So we got plenty of evergreen stock there. It's the summertime. The stock fits perfectly. We got the right pricing. We've got markdowns, we've got discounts, we've got sales, we've got reduced prices, but we're not going through the floor. We're not racing to the bottom. We've got flash sales on. We have every tool eBay throws at us going at the moment. And we've got a new one that's been around for a while, which is supplied by eBay, but not many people use it. We have that in play as well at the moment. How is that affecting things? We'll talk about it in the video that we'll be bringing out, but we have that in play as well. Now, this is available to anybody, and it will all depend whether or not you sell internationally. And if you do sell internationally, this could be for you. If you have multi-variation listings, this could definitely be for you. But we'll have to see. We'll talk about it in the next video. So for us today, what are we going to do? What are we doing differently? What are we going to be doing going forwards for the rest of today? To be honest with you, not much different. There's not much we can do. We can't keep making too many changes too quick. We need these to settle in and bed in and see over a period of time how much difference it makes, if any, and where it's making that difference. Then once we've got that stat together, we can then give that to you and then report it back and see what we're doing. So we're just going to carry on as we are today. We're not going to stress over it. There's no point stressing over it because it's not going to help anyone. And eBay are going to, I almost really swore then, my apologies, but they are shafting us however they want to shaft us. That's not going to change. So we're going to give it the day, leave today, let them do what they're going to do, and we're going to focus on getting the content out, get this recorded and edited and uploaded for you within the next day, and then we're going to come back and we're going to have a look at eBay and then see what's happened, what's changed over that period of time, seeing where things are moving, and hopefully things are going to be moving back in the right direction, because as we can see, they've really slammed that door. We've made that progression in that first day overnight, and we pushed that boundary and we flew the flag and we said, no, eBay, this is what we should be getting, and we were getting it. And then it went, whoa, hang on, no, you can't have that. This is what you should be getting, so you shouldn't be there. So we're going to pull it back. We're going to shuffle this around because this is not how we want to play the game. This is our game. We play by our rules, not your rules, not anyone else's rules, even though we're playing by their rules. But the results aren't in their favor for some reason. Hopefully it's a glitch. And when I say glitch, I mean that whatever they've implemented and whatever tactics they're using at the moment haven't given them the results they're after, and they're still working on it. Because if this is the new, we've got issues. All right, so let's get into the rest of the day. Let's have an awesome day. Let's get some bloody sales on the board, and let's keep going. And at the end of the day, remember everyone, as always, keep it real. eBay suppression is real, but how long can we cope with it? Welcome back to Stats and Stuff, everyone. This is episode 81, and we're now on June the 27th, and we're going to be looking at the stats from June the 6th. So let's get straight in. Okay, so before we get into this, I want to go into a serious note. A very good colleague of mine on another channel, Polish Pete, has unfortunately become victim to hacking and has had his YouTube channel hacked. Now, as a result, you know how these things go. YouTube have obviously blocked the account from his access. You can't get it changed across at this point. It's devastating. I mean, you think from a content creator's point of view, in the course of a year, we can literally put in thousands of hours to research, create, upload content for the community to benefit them, benefit us, benefit everybody that wants to sell on eBay. Now, this is devastating for him. I mean, you can see it in his second new video, which I'll explain in a moment. But this has resulted that obviously he's had to start a new channel from scratch at this stage. So he's keeping us informed. He's trying to get his old channel back up. There's still a glimmer of hope for him. I really, really do hope he gets it sorted. But we need to stand together. So I know a lot of the people that follow my content also follow Pete's content, and so on and so forth. And it is a building community. It is a layer after layer of people can get this message out there. I'm going to put Pete's new channel's link at the bottom in the description, but I'll also put it on the screen. If you could just head on over there, subscribe to his new channel. I know we're all subscribed to his old channel. That's absolutely fine. If he gets it up and running again, you're all set. But if he cannot get access to it, then we're going to need to connect to his new channel. So if you could please step up, add him back into your subscribers list. Don't forget to hit his notification bell and like his videos, get it moving in the algorithm again. And hopefully we can get Pete back to where he should be in our hearts and on the channels, on the platform. So please do get that done for us. That would be great. Pete, we're behind you on this one. You know, I can see from your second video on this new channel, it's really hit you hard. And believe me, I'd be devastated. So yes, I can understand, but please stay strong. Stay strong. There is always hope. You can get through this, and hopefully you'll get your channel back. If not, we'll help you build this back up and get this second channel back to where you were and stronger. So everyone in the community, as I say, please add him back in. It's at Polish Pete UK. This is the new channel. So if you go into your search bar at the top on YouTube and just type in at Polish Pete UK, that will find his new channel. Go across there, subscribe, hit the notification bell, like his videos. He's only got a couple of notifications on there type videos at the moment, just keeping us up to date what's going on. But that will keep you abreast of what's happening. So if worst case scenario, we can't get his other channel back up and running again on the original, then you've already set up for his second one, but you will still have access to his other videos on his other account quite probably as well. If he does get it uploaded and changed, he'll let us know. And obviously from there, you'll know you're still back on which channel you're looking at. But if you could spread the message, any channels that you're out there in, any other lives that you go on, Josh, Primo, etc., whoever your broad scope is, please put the message out there in the comments for Polish Pete's new channel. And get them to go over and subscribe, and let's build his community back up on his channel as well. Okay, guys, so let's get back into our channel here. So let's go through the screens. Let's see where we're up to. Let's see what's happening. So we can see page views. They've started growing again. Okay. They have started growing again. It's been a disaster of a couple of weeks. The last week especially has just been appalling. It doesn't matter what we do, it is just tanking. But we've managed to get it back to over 4.5, so that's good. It's increased by 50%. If we can keep that moving again, that'd be awesome. I have a horrible feeling that the algorithm will slam it back down again tomorrow, but we'll see how that goes. But let's look into it a bit more. I mean, the organic traffic is there. It's gone up by 115%. So the offsite advertising is working. You know, the systems that we're using is working to get those organic traffic. Whether or not it's been a case of whatever they're doing in the background is affecting things. And I think that could probably be it, which is not a good thing. But in the long run, hopefully it will become coming back stronger. I did predict on the Your Thoughts and Comments video yesterday, I predicted that this is all happening because of the summer update. Now, on the initial surface of reading that summer update, it just seems to be a display thing across the advertising, promoted, etc., that they seem to be changing. A couple of tweaks on the policies for terms and conditions, but nothing more. I still don't believe that. I still believe that there is something there coming. And if you read it properly, and I will go into it in detail on another video, but with luck, but I still think there's something happening. I definitely feel there is some other aspect to promoted listings, campaigns, etc., that they are going to be changing or have changed, because it just isn't sitting right with me. It's not sitting right at all. The promoted impressions have dropped to 38 for the day for page views. 38 page views that are promoted. We have 722 listings, for the love of God. We would sit on hundreds of plus. It's gone down by another 50% yesterday. We're currently sitting, and I'll just have a quick look. Now, at this stage, right now, this morning, we're at about, it's 10:22 a.m. UK time. And at this stage, well, at 9:30, I sit at 35,000 promoted listed impressions. Today, right now, I am sitting at 10:30 nearly 7,000 promoted impressions, or 7,300, but let's say 7,500. That's still only a quarter of where I should be at this time in the morning. I can guarantee my stats. I can literally predict on the 6-hour section, 6 in the morning, 12 at lunch, 6 in the evening, midnight, how much I'm going to be up to by the day, within a margin of probably 300 to 500 impressions. It is only on a larger fluctuation day that I get it wrong, but other than that, I'm always spot on. So I know this is not been natural, and it's been this way for me. It started to trickle down round about the 1st of June. Came down to about 80,000 from 150,000. It stayed around the 80 odd thousand until around about the 12th of June. And then after the 12th of June, it's dropped down to 50s, and on the 19th, it's dropped to about 40,000, and it's been about 40,000 every day since. I don't know what's happening. I truly think this has something to do with the summer update, or what they're doing in the background that will be implemented as a result of these updates on the summer update. We shall see. If I'm not alone, if anyone else is suffering this as well, this massive decrease of impressions, which obviously relates then into page views, etc., over the last month, just a sudden, just tanking, let me know. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments below the video. See where you're going, how much you've dropped by, or increased by. If you've actually gone the other way, you've fallen in favor more for whatever's going on, then please let us know, and we can see some similarities and see what's happening. But for myself, it's not sitting right for me at all. There's more to it than we're seeing on the surface here. But we can see in the impressions by placement that's blatantly obvious. It's ripped us out to the top 20. It's ripped us out of the rest of search. We're still sitting around the 190,000 impression mark on non-search, which is where we always sit, especially with the offsite advertising that we're doing. But it's completely pulled us out of visibility for getting promoted listed impressions for top 20 and rest of search. It's not a good sign. Hopefully it will pass. Obviously, this now means we're on 00 sales days. We're on the 27th. So at some point during the course of the day, there is that likelihood of the promoted, email of doom date scenario happening today. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. But I think the writing's on the wall for today before we even get there. But we shall see what's happening. The suppression is a real thing on eBay, and it is also I mean, Josh has brought it up in his live yesterday, and it is there's some very valid points in there in the chat and in his perception of what he's seeing. It's there's no emotion in it. It's not a persecution. That's not how it works. The coding is done to benefit eBay. So if it doesn't benefit eBay's goals, and we may not know what those goals are, then it's not going to favor it. It's that simple. So whatever's happening, for whatever reason, whatever box has failed to get ticked on our account for positioning within this desired result for eBay's bottom line, I guess, then obviously we're going to have to figure out what that is. We truly are, because we need to get back into that favor. It's not good. It's not good, and we need to get back. And we are literally, as Josh says, we are in survival mode. A lot of us are not surviving, but we're trying to tell ourselves we're in survival mode and it will pass. But we have to be realistic. We have to acknowledge that, one, whilst this happens, we still have a bottom line ourselves to meet. And if we're not meeting it, we need to find ways to meet it, whether that be cross-listing and pivoting, or finding other avenues in life to bring funding in to make sure that we have our bills paid. Or it could be a case of, how long can we survive with this in play? Will there be an end? Will it just be different hurdles that are causing the same or worse results in the future? How long can we put up with this? How far down this road does eBay think we're going to be able to follow them? Be able to follow them, not a case of want to, but be able to, in its current state. Do they have blinkers on? I don't know. I mean, the aspect of, did they just think, well, we know where we want to get to. We know what we're implementing. We can see our bigger scope picture. And it takes as long as it takes, because we're that big, we will survive. But will they? Any company can go under at the end of the day. I mean, there is nothing to fill the void of eBay. There is nothing to fill the void of eBay. It has advanced so much, especially in the last 5 to 10 years, regardless of the glitches, that it is in some respects future-proofed. But it's also falling because of its future-proofing. It's also falling for reasons we don't see behind the curtain, as I say, so we don't really see the full picture. We can only see what we hear and what we can find on eBay, on the internet. But what are their goals? What is the reasoning behind not allowing our visibility? What is the reason for capping our sales ability? I mean, I appreciate that they say that it's to protect us from ourselves, to stop us from taking on too much, which also is to protect the buyer from having a bad experience. But it shouldn't just happen. I think what should happen, if they feel that the growth could be unsustainable for a seller, an account, then the first stage should be to reach out to the seller and say, we feel this is a case where you may not be able to cope. Are you on top of this? Do you take responsibility? If you then go, yes, I'm fine with it, it's cool, and then fall, then sure, they should then do what we feel they're already doing, which is throttling back our ability to grow for a trial period, whether it be another month, just to see that you get through that situation. It shouldn't just be a carte blanche. I don't give a toss if you're worth 100,000 or 1 million or 10 million company. We're going to tell you how much you're going to earn. I don't agree with that scenario, and that is what's happening. From what I can see, that is what's happening. But it's not a sustainable platform choice. There are those that say, why would eBay cap you? Why would they want to lose sales? Well, they're not. They're not losing sales, because what they're pulling out of yours, what they're failing your visibility to get, they're giving that visibility to somebody else. Maybe that person's running their account better. Maybe that person's account's getting more interest and sales. Maybe they're making more money individually from those transactions. And that is their priority, because that's what's making them the most money. Now, that I could understand. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I do understand everybody's out for themselves at the end of the day. We're a business, of course we are. But then you have the scenarios where we can get a really, really good day, and then it's just tumbleweeds for 2-3 days. I don't think that should happen. That is control. We see it day in, day out. eBay deny it. They're full of shit. We are the sellers. We see it. We know it. We're living it. We can predict it. Every YouTuber out there, everyone in the comments who comments regularly, Patricia, myself, Paul Rose, Biff Buffo, Dendicor Depot, Benny Stratton, Space Lord, Primo, Patricia, we all, James, sorry, we all see this. Josh as well. We all see when we have that big day, we know we're going to have a trough. So it's undeniable. So eBay should not be denying that fact happens. I think what they should do is step it down. Maybe. So if you have a really big day and it's out of the blue, to make sure that you're comfortable, we'll take it down a notch and see how you cope. And if you cope with that as well, then fine, carry on. But if you're not, then bring it down a bit again. But that's not what they do. They literally just turn the light off. And that's not good practice in my eyes. But it's their sandbox. So what are we going to do? What are we doing? What can we do? All right. So for myself, I'm not going to stop the offsite advertising. That's working. That's bringing in the traffic. We're not getting the sales. I don't know what to do with that. We're using the eBay mag. We've got that up and running. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that data, seeing how that impacts the platform. So currently we have our listings on eBay UK. We have our listings on ebay.com. We have our listings on eBay Canada. We're going to leave Australia for the moment. I don't want to do too many at once. So technically speaking, we have 2,155 listings and still getting 0 sales. But we'll see how this goes. We can monitor our sales. Obviously, if we ain't getting any, so even when we get a few sales, it's not like we're going to get a double sale dip going on. We're going to be on top of that. We have multiple items, multiple variations of most of our listings. So unless there was a sudden big bulk buy, which would be great, we're not going to have a sold out scenario for us. So I think it depends on the business platform the business strategy that you use. Whether eBay Mag is an option, we're looking at it for ourselves. We're seeing how it goes. We're going to monitor that in conjunction with our offsite advertising. We're sending advertising to the UK and the US store at the moment. So we're going to monitor that, see how that goes, see what results we get from there. Without getting sales, it's all redundant. But it does solidify the foundations of whether it works for getting the traffic, for getting the watchers, for getting the page views. That side of it, we can solidify. The sales side of it, we need to get into that shining light of the lighthouse effect of eBay in order to get that moving, get that traction moving on it again. I mean, this is optimal selling time for a lot of our products, and eBay are just being silly, in my view, for what they're doing. But we're not going to let it drag us down. I mean, we are frustrated. We are biting our nails, waiting for the phone to go cha-ching. And I'll probably jump when it happens, because it's been that bloody long since I had a last sale. I know I'm not in the worst case scenario. There are people in much worse. I wouldn't say worse positions. There are people in much more challenging situations at the moment with their sales, and I feel for them. I really, really do feel for them. I mean, it's hard. It's really, really hard. Our profit margins come down on the sales that we have had. We've reduced all of our stock by a further 5% today, to try and get some traction moving. Going by the Primo strategy of dropping down the prices just a little to try and move that still water, as it were, start getting that trickle moving, and hopefully we can get into a stream and into some sort of green streak of sales. But it's going to be a waiting game, I think. Definitely going to be a waiting game. So we'll keep an eye on things, and we'll report back what we see, how we see it. But anyone in the community, reach out, let us know in the comments what you're experiencing, what other strategies you're using. We still have the Stratton strategy in play. We do need to get more stock on, but then why bother at the moment? If we're not getting any traction, is it worth spending time getting more stuff and more stock online? We need to get what we have moving first. Otherwise, we're creating our own grave. Yeah, I'm kind of paddling dead. I've lost all my words. we're not getting anywhere at the moment as far as sales. We don't seem to be seeing what we need to be seeing. We don't want to focus too much on the micro. We do want to keep an eye on the macro. So I think that's probably our only saving grace, is we have got our mindset into not panicking about the micro. We're aware of it, and we use that data to drive our decisions for the macro. But the macro is where it all lies. We're still up year on year. So for the year, we're fine. That's fine. But that doesn't mean to say bills are going to get paid at the end of the month. We're on a write-off month already. Unless somebody started coming in every day for the rest of this month, and our sales went up to nearly 30 a day, we're running at a deficit this month, no matter what we do. So we need to work on next month and keep it moving. Start looking to the next quarter as well. Starts getting the preparations fully flowing for the next quarter, whilst maintaining the current quarter and the platform as it stands. I had high hopes to start using the second account again this month, but there's just no point. Is it worth opening up another account? Well, not really, because you're starting, for me at the minute anyway, not really, because you're starting with crappy little sales listing abilities again. So what, you want me to spend the next 6 months slowly building it up from 10 to 50 to 100 to 500? There shouldn't be a difference between new accounts and old accounts. I think eBay really needs to reassess what they're doing. Well, it's not a great day, I know. It's not upbeat. It was meant to be upbeat, but it's kind of gone off at a tangent at the moment. But guys, come on. Could be worse. Could be a lot worse. So let's move forwards. Let's strategize together. Let's find a way through for those of us that are struggling. See if those that are doing well can give some pointers that they may be doing differently. Get them in the comments. If you're liking the content, hit the like, hit the subscribe, notification bell, all those things. They all help the algorithm for the channel. And obviously, the bigger we can build our community. And we are starting to grow again, which is good. So we're now at 2,607 subscribers now. So that's starting to move forwards again now. So that's good. And let's help Pete get his subscriber base back up and his community moving. I hope he gets his old channel back. I really do. But if not, let's get built in to his new channel. Okay, guys, have a great day of sales. And remember, keep it real. So do eBay just give you a lump of sales just before your subscription fee's due, just so they can pay themselves? Welcome back to Stats and Stuff. This is episode 82 and it's June the 29th, and we're going to be looking at the figures from June the 28th. So let's get in. Okay, so let's get straight into the after chat. And before we go any further, I'd just like to announce that Polish Pete has regained access to his channel. So thank you everyone for your support, advice and tips to help him get back up and running. The support with everyone has been amazing, and way to go, Pete. Keep it going. We knew you'd get through it. So let's get into these screens and let's see what we have. So starting back on the page views. So, okay, so we had a bit of a drop, as we say, in the total page views for the day yesterday. It came down by nearly 15%, so it's down at 352. Not where we want to be, but it is going to be a gradual build back up that hill. So we can't really... Well, we can complain, but we can't really complain in the scheme of things because it is moving back in the right direction. We're starting to gain some momentum. Is this because of what they're doing, or on the back end with the promoted and the advertising dashboard updates, etc., or is this to do with, as we mentioned on start in the thumbnail, because it's the end of the month? They need to get some more sales back in to make sure that they're getting that revenue from us. It's happened more than once. It's happened many, many times. There's a lot of people that have pointed this out. It could be that, it could be that, or it could be that that's when people get paid. And there's just a bit of a burst at the end of the month where people start buying. But the thing is, people, if you're getting paid at the end of the month, you're generally getting paid on the last working day, or the 30th or the 31st, if there is a 31st of the month. And we always seem to get sales about 2-3 days earlier because it knows it's going to take a couple of days for that processing of those funds to move from processing to available, and then from available to your bank. And if they get the subscription fee in quick enough, they can take it off you. Maybe it's conspiracy, but it just happens far too many times for people to accept these things on the surface. And the way eBay works, it is not surprising that we're constantly questioning everything they do. Okay, so overall, not where we want it to be, but moving in the right direction. So let's just break it down. We know that the organic page views have been very low. It's dropped by over 20% again. We seem to be going down instead of up, and we know this is not correct because it's got to be visibility, because we know that we're getting a lot of traffic externally, so it's bringing it to the page. We know that we have the ability to get those page views, but it's not doing it because it's not putting it in front of people. It's not putting it where it should be. Is this to entice you to promote? It's a long time thing. Everyone's been saying it, and we all agree there's definitely some legs in it to be considered. Certainly worth a discussion. If you feel that's the case, pop it in the comments below. If you don't feel it's the case, pop it in the comments below. Let's get a discussion going around this. So for us, yes, okay, we're okay with it. It's not where we want it to be. We need to curb it. It's been progressively moving down over the last few days. We need to get that turned around. And with us using the eBay Mag for the .com platform for generating additional views, page views, and sales, that's going to be covering our butt on the bottom line at the end of the day. We can see external is at the low end still, but it is moving upwards. So they're allowing a bit more through. Now, with that said, I just want to jump in here. Now, I definitely think there is something to the visibility offsite that eBay don't allow or Google don't allow. And I'll tell you why. Because I've run offsite campaigns through Google to drive traffic to eBay, and they get denied. You get nothing because it breaks policy violation for the words eBay. So you can't use the word eBay when promoting eBay. Not only that, I've checked it when I've been setting offsite campaigns through Google for the eBay Life book, which is to increase your eBay success. Again, it won't run the ad because it's blocking the word eBay. So is it that eBay don't allow it, or is it that Google won't allow to use eBay? I know they had a falling out. I definitely think there's something there. I may not be on the right point, but there's definitely a path there. We know they had a falling out over costs. We know that eBay allows, and Google allows eBay to promote as long as it's through the eBay offsite ads campaign option on platform. But when you try to do a Google ads campaign, and we don't use Google ads now, we use our own different style of offsite promoting, but when you try to use Google, it disallows it. It disallows anything to do with eBay. So there is definitely some falling out or legality going on there to stop you from using eBay as a word in any of your advertising. Very curious, which I definitely think has something to do with why we're getting lower traffic on the screen, partially why we're getting lower traffic on the screen for external. But I also think they're controlling that to entice you into using promoted listings. Now, on the the side of promoted listings, what the hell is going on? I mean, 47 page views for promoted at 20%. Get real. Not correct. Absolutely not correct. This definitely has something to do with what's going on in the background. I pointed it out. I've mentioned it several times before we got the summer update, and there is definitely legs in this as far as I'm concerned. I definitely feel that we are getting less visibility with our promoted percentages, and they are looking to implement avenues to get more out of us through promoted. And how they're going to do that, I don't know. I don't really have any thoughts as to how they're going to do that at the moment, but I definitely think there's something going on. As well as that, they're testing out the removal of your account's name from the organic searching from the screen there, so it no longer comes up with the seller name. It just says a seller. Well, why would you even put the word seller? Of course they're a bloody seller. They're selling. Every person, all multiple millions of sellers are sellers. You don't need to tell a buyer that it's a seller because they are a seller. What a ridiculous point to put on there. I know they've been testing it. Put it back. I think that branding is going to be something else they're going to try and start charging for. We shall see. We shall see. So yes, we need that to keep moving forward. It is moving, but it's not moving where we need to be getting that into the hundreds. We can't be accepting 47. That's a pitiful number. So we're definitely going to need to figure out some work on that. Obviously, the top of the funnel with the impressions by placement, those mixes, they're just what they are. I mean, they're coming in at the same every day on the split, organic and promoted. There's no real movement in there. You have a little wiggle room, but obviously that's general fluctuation. But overall, that's pretty much of a much. Now, the growth or lack of, that is an important thing. We can see that the organic impressions have massively increased. The last few days, 3 days ago, we had like 74%. Yesterday was in the same region. Today we're on almost 72% growth on organic. So that's pushing those impressions, and that's good. We can see that we've gained that ground back into the impressions. We've gained the ground back for top 20 search and the rest of search around the same sort of figures. Non-search is also same sort of figures, but again, we're not getting the traction we're after. We should be looking at an overall amount a day of about 150,000 promoted listed impressions. We're not getting anywhere near that at the moment. We're lucky if we can make 40,000 promoted impressions. That's how much they're shuffling it back down the line. It's going to get to the point where I think you're going to have to start looking at 15s, 20s, 30% promoted listing fees just to get the same sort of visibility you're getting now. I do hope that's not the case, but I can see it happening absolutely, where they're going to be trying to push and manipulate you into doing it. So sales, 5. Again, not where we want it, but with the rate things have been going of late, oh my God, this is an improvement. I mean, we were sitting on 1s and 2s and 0s all the time. Now we've hit a 5. Now, yesterday we got 2. Today we got 5. 3 of those are from .com. So through the eBay mag option, we've put on to .com. So if we didn't have those, we would only be sitting on 2. We're sitting on 5. So that's a massive improvement. So we're going to keep an eye. I definitely think there's scope for growth here on the platforms, depending on where you want to do it. If com continues the way it's going, we're definitely going to stick with that. Canada hasn't had so much as a trickle at the moment, so we're probably going to be dropping those listings and stop using Canada. But we're going to give it to the end of the month, see what happens. If it gets a sale, we might give it a little bit more time. But we're probably going to look at dropping Canada. We may move it over to Australia. We'll give that one a run for its money for a week or two, see if we can get some traction moving on there. And then we'll possibly look at another country on the list of 8 from there. But for the moment, UK.com. to the end of the month for Canada, see how that goes. If not, we're going to pivot to Canada, get those off, and then get the Australia on there instead. But definitely some room for growth with that. So I'm glad we got that moving again now. The monthly average of 1.64, it's not where we want it. We knew it was going to be a massive struggle getting this back up this month with the absolute desert of lack of sales that we've had over the entire month as it's been. So probably if we hadn't have had those 0 sales days, we probably would be sitting around the 2 a day Noah's Ark effect going on for this month. But obviously, let's hope next month gets better, as we've only got a couple of days left. Now, year-to-date stats, obviously, as we say, we do report those just on the UK figures. It would be too much messing around to try and filter in the figures from the other platforms, put them all together, show you how much growth overall. We might do a monthly comparison, but I don't think so. I think we'll just stick with it as it is, so you can see how the UK platform is running for us on this main account, and everything else is icing on the cake. Now, let's move across. I don't think there's anything to say on the top 5 categories. They're pretty much of a much. The journey to success, what an appalling week. I'm glad we got 240 on the board at least. Better than nothing. And I know I'm not the worst. There's people in much worse positions than me at the moment, and I really feel for them. I really do. With that said, there are also those that are doing a lot better. We've had a couple of trolls on the platform that just pointing the finger without any real knowledge or understanding of what's going on. It's your items, you're obviously not good sellers, etc. Well, you've got your point of view. You obviously don't know what you're talking about. That's absolutely fine. Everyone has their own point of view. I'm not going to take it to heart. You be who you want to be. But we know that we know what we're doing. And we're going to keep moving it forwards and keep growing. And with your help and support, we can gain some insights into areas that we may not see. And hopefully the information you and me give into the community is all going to help everyone somewhere down the line as they try to build and grow in the new marketplace that is the new eBay. So yeah, we're going to carry on with £500 for the target. We're definitely, well, it's just one of those weeks, you know. I mean, you can't micro it too much. You have to look at the macro in the scheme. So we're still up year on year for the figures. So that's what we're going to take at the moment. We're just keeping an eye on the micro. Don't get too flustered with the micro. If you get the odds zero sales day, it's not the end of the world, but you want to be trying to avoid them. And we use the Benny Stratton strategy. If you haven't understood what that is, go back and check some of the previous videos. It's basically just getting a lot of faster turnover stock at lower price, smaller margins, just to get the zero to something. Something is better than nothing. That's what you've got to remember. YouTube channel going great. You know, I mean, we've got 39 days left, about just over a month and a week and a bit. And we've got 580 hours still to go. So we're nearly there. Now, obviously, what we will need to take into account as well for us is around the next few weeks, we've hit our year. So anything that we got a year previous, it's going to start taking that off as well. So we need to get that 580 fast as possible, ideally a lot sooner than 39 days, because we're going to be having to do double the amount just to catch up on what we lost at the start. But we're there, we're nearly there, and that's going to be good for the channel. It's going to be good for the community because we're going to be able to do so much more. We can start running some competitions, possibly. We might even do a competition raffle type thing for a few of the books, get those out to the community out there as well. So that'd be nice. We'll see how things go forward from there. After that, we just have the book, which is 11 sales now, so that's fine. We're not hitting the thousands in sales, and we're not number one bestsellers. We don't expect that to be the case at all. We were hoping to do, as I mentioned earlier, Google Ads campaign to push the book, but we're not allowed to use the word eBay, so I'm not sure if we'll try and run another one. Possibly just call it e-commerce, but I don't know. We'll see. That's for me to worry about, not for you guys. But volume 1 is out. It's doing well. It's getting consistent sales. It hasn't got traction yet, but that's okay. It's only been a couple of weeks. Book 2 is currently being proofread for final edits, and then that's ready. So volume 2 is ready to rock. So that'll be awesome. I just need to not get too excited and get it out too quick. Let's just let book 1 grow first, and then on the back of that we can then push into book 2. Book 3 and 4 we've got outlined. They'll be coming next year, definitely next year. It's not going to be this year, but probably early spring we should get book 3 up and running as well. We'll see how it goes. We're going to have a full series. They will be a great addition to anyone's shelf. for just pulling and just picking ideas, looking for new inspiration on how to grow your e-commerce business. So that's everything there. That's everything through the stat screens and where we were up to with those. What we're going to do going forward, well, as I say, we're going to be focusing on looking at the Australia platform for the eBay Mag, see if we can get that moving. There's lots going on at the moment in the background. The store, we really need to work on getting some visibility. It's definitely down to visibility at the moment. Search is a mess. It's been proven that you'll get different types of search results, whether you have a news account or an old account, which is upsetting. I don't see why they can't get everything onto one. They just need to stop plaster fixing things. They need to just completely strip out all the old coding and reconstitute the account how it should be for going forward. Yeah, you know, I'm just losing the will to live when it comes to this search. We need more sales. We need more visibility. Visibility. It is that simple. Let the buyers make the choice. Stop trying to be a search engine and start being a e-commerce platform again. The sooner we get rid of Jamie, the better. In my view, we need somebody from within that is innovative but old school platform, in my view. But keep bringing people in from Walmarts and stuff. You're never going to be Walmart. You're never going to be Amazon. Just be you. Yeah, we're us. We're happy to grow and look at new channels of promotion and growth, and use your platform with the new tools that are available to us. Absolutely. But you need to keep to your core when it comes to visibility. All this pre-guessing what customers are looking for, it needs to go. It really does. Anyway, I digress. It's a Saturday. Let's get some great sales on the board. Let's look at the new month, which will start at the beginning of the week, which is great. So we're going to be going in, get through the weekend, starting the new week. We're going to be new week, new month. It is the summer months. We're starting into the middle of quarter 2. Yes. And we're going to be moving forwards. So let's get some sales. Let's have a great day. If there's anything you want to add, get it in the comments below. Anything you want to talk about, get it in the comments. Email us at ebaylife2023@gmail.com. I'm checking it every day, always keeping an eye on it. You can get much more information in there if there's something you want to discuss. Either way, have a great day of sales. And remember, keep it real. With the state of the platform, is Promoted Listing even worth it with the low amount of impressions they're giving out? Welcome back to Stats and Stuff. This is episode 83. It's July the 1st, and we're going to be looking at the figures from June the 30th. So let's get in. Okay, everyone. So we're looking at the figures and the stats. We're looking at comparisons, and we're looking at what's working and what's not. So, yeah, there's just so much happening at the minute. I'm all over the place when it comes to priorities and what's going on the platform as far as whether it's a benefit to me in certain areas. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, let's just look at things. I mean, as it says in the thumbnail, straight simply, is promoting even worth the money with low impressions? We've all seen it. Doesn't matter how high you're promoting at the moment. Your impressions are dropping through the floor for Promoted. So why even bother promoting? Why bother promoting high? Would we really be hit that hard if we drop promotion? Well, we'd certainly get a lot less impressions, but we can't be getting many less sales because the sales aren't even coming in from Promoted at the minute. The page views are not appearing. They're not serving up the The listings, the visibility is through the floor. What's going on? It can't be our account as far as the health. That's perfect. We've had a few, 2 negatives that have come through in the last month, but the results of that were hit early on, and we saw where we were with that. That shouldn't be having this impact. So what else can it be? Is it the summer updates? Is it the coding and the changing of things in the background? Is it the search? Are they changing search yet again? Well, we know that they're going to be looking at giving the 2 options that you can search via the old system and via the new system. Is that conflicting? Is it not understanding where to put our promoted impressions? Is the promoted impressions from on the old system not understanding where it should be putting those impressions because the new system is geared with the new coding, so the old system is with the old coding, so it doesn't understand? Could that be it? It's difficult to work out, but let's look at these screens. Let's see where we think we're going with it and what's happening for us. So total page views was 386. It's not the worst. I'll admit it's not the worst, but it's not where we were when we were at our peak. So could this just be the summer slowdown? Could it be the market fluctuations, as eBay always like to tell us? It could be. It could be. But because we look at our account daily, we see the fluctuations, we see the movements. And for us, we've been reduced by over 70% in some cases on our promoted impressions. Excuse me, on our promoted impressions. So it's not a gradual thing. It's literally big jumps down again and again over the last month. And we're now coming in very, very low. Now, certainly, if we get sales, we're starting to get a few organics coming through. Granted, those are from the eBay Mag side of things. But even so, we should be getting a lot more promoted. We were sitting at like 80, 90, 95% promoted sales at one point, and we were complaining about it. But again, we're not saying that we're not happy with the fact that it's moving the shift over to organic sales, but where the heck have our promoted sales gone? Because we're not even getting the level of sales that we were getting. Hopefully, our new system will help us with this, but there's so many cogs and wheels moving at the same time. The page views for the organic, 296. So organic accounts for almost 3/4 of our page views. That's a big drop from the promoted. The external page views are sitting at 36. So even though it says it's increased by 1/3, which I think is just comparing to figures that are a little too out of date, but 36 is our low end. We need to be getting up to the 50s and 60s again. We know they report badly when it comes to external. We know that they try to coerce us to start promoting and using offsite ads. We're not going to use it ourselves. We're certainly never going to be using the eBay's offsite ads. It doesn't work for us, hasn't worked for us, and I doubt it'll ever work for us. But we will keep our eyes open to see if there is talk in the community of ads working better. But I think we're giving enough to them already at the moment. So promoted, it's just crazy. We've increased. I mean, in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, we've increased every day on our promoted page views. But those page views are still only about half of what we should be getting. So can we say that in a week's time, if this continues on, we'll be back to where we were? Or is it just going to be this is the new norm around the 50s? We do hope they fix it. We really do. So the impressions by placement, we can see those. Okay, so let's look at those for a moment. So this is the top of the funnel, as we say. The organic promoted split is where it is. Now, back in the early part of the year, they were, with our system in place, we were pushing a lot of traffic through our offsite promoting that we use, and we still use again. So that should be sitting around the same areas. Now, those areas were around about the 55, 60% organic, the rest promoted. It's not sitting that way. We're sitting at nearly 75% organic. I'm not complaining. But with that stated, the growth is very controlled. We can see that. 19.5 promoted, 20.3 organic, basically averaged amount. You're looking round about just shy of 20% between them. So no difference. It's just a consistent visibility growth day by day. Now, is that by design? Or is it the coding gradually filtering and placing these listings better? Who can say? Who can say? But let's look at that top 20 rest search, non-search. Now, those figures are sitting around where they were about a month ago. So they're not any worse now, but they're not really any better. And we should be looking at bettering. So we need more out of the non-search in the top 20 if we could. But we know that the majority of non-search impressions are going to be from our traffic that's driving to our store and categories. So that's fine. We understand that. So we can say to ourselves, okay, the offsite promoting is working much, much better because it's pushing those figures back to where it should be. As far as non-search, that is a bracket on its own. The rest of search and top 20, we've regained our visibility through impressions on those two categories, but we're not growing. I mean, it says we're up, but we know we're not really growing on where we were. We're just pulling back on what we've lost. Maybe we should just take the growth and say, okay, I'm thankful for that. But it's the converting. That's the issue. 0 sales on the UK platform for like 2 days, technically. If it wasn't for the promoting on the international eBay sites with our listings, so it's more direct, we wouldn't even have got a sale yesterday. 2-3 days ago, 2/3 of our sales were on the international sites on the visibility. So is it ebay.com that's got the issue? Or is it ebay.co.uk that's got the issue? Or is it one of these international sites that has the issue? Who knows? But from what we can tell, the avenue we've taken with the eBay mag is working. Now, it's early doors. It's only the first few days. Now, what we've managed to do now, I mean, it's growing day by day with the amount of listings we're putting up onto the other platforms. We have eBay UK, which is our main site, which is what we report the majority of our page views and our impressions, and those figures there and our sales, as far as pound note financial sales, they are all from the UK site figures. The sales screen, we show you the full picture. It's easier to do just this screen than it is the others. The calculations just would take up all my day, and I've got to focus on the business as well. But it's good for comparison to see what's happening. So we can see that getting your items in front of the buyers directly works much, much better. So we have eBay UK, we have ebay.com. We still have Canada, although we think, well, I would take them off, but it doesn't cost me anything to put them on. So I'll probably just leave them there. But I'm not concerned with Canada. It doesn't have any sort of growth that it should have. Excuse me. What I can say, though, is we've also listed on eBay Australia now. And that was yesterday's sale. So within the same day of listing the listings through the software, it's already got us a sale on eBay Australia. So that was worth putting up. We're now in the process of putting on eBay Spain. Now, the advantage of eBay Mag is it will convert your words into the relevant native language. So it does your titles, your item specifics, your item description box. All these things are converted into the current language for that platform. So you're going to be placed in search in Google in multiple different languages for your listings. Not only that, but you're placed in the algorithm coding and search placement for that country in their native language, in the correct words that are going to be more that they're going to search for. So you're getting, I use the term loosely native. It's just a term, so don't take it wrong. But the native language of each platform's country, their search for their buyers, you're getting better position with those. So it's worth it. It saves me the time and hassle, because if you were, say, in Spain, the likelihood of people searching for a word in English is going to be less throughout its buyer base. So it can only help you. Excuse me, throat's a little dry today. So yeah, definitely working for us. We're hoping to get that monthly and daily average sale amount of sales up. We were at 1.56 last month, so let's get it back to 2 or above this month. Ideally much higher, but we'll see how things go. This screen is also including all the platforms. So with all the platforms, we only managed to pull in 1.56. That's pretty low as an average. Pretty low. We need to be much higher than that just to survive. Total sales screen is obviously just the UK base. Now we can see where we're slipping on there. The quantity sold, we need to be selling more, and we need more one-time buyers. We also need repeat buyers. We need to work on that. Hopefully we can move that in at least the back end of Q3 and definitely Q4. That should take care of itself and move back up a bit more. But it's this quiet summer period that we've got to be focusing on. Now, a lot of our products are summer stroke evergreen, if you could put it in both brackets. So that should take care of that. We're going to be putting some more focus on some new listings. We're going to get some more Benny Stratton strategy products up, and hopefully that's going to help us fill in the gaps. We need that foundation back in. We need to get back in favor with the algorithm. We need to get back in favor and get some green streaks moving. There's been a severe lack of green streaks of sales happening, and we need to get that back moving. With that said, let's look at the journey to success. So we can see, unfortunately, not a great start to the month, although it is the first day of the month, but the back end of the month was very, very pitiful for the last couple of days. We did get 3 days back now. We got a 5-day sale, which kind of was a benefit because it pretty much covered the subscription fees. Obviously, they're going to get paid anyway, but it covered them. So that was a surprise. Yeah, big deal. Same old, same old. Every time it comes towards the end of the month, we get a batch of sales that cover it. It's fine. It's covered. That's the thing to remember. It's covered. But it does make you wonder why you don't get those other times of the month as well. If you can get the visibility there, if it is indeed eBay controlling it, why don't they just let it roll? Let it roll. Let us have the sales. What have you got to lose? Nothing. Anyway, so what else have we got on the board? Well, we've got the YouTube that's moving nicely. So we've got today, we're going to be putting in a little bit of effort to get the final 10 top tips from the Top Tips Countdown series finished. We want to get them up and scheduled, so you'll start seeing them appearing daily over the next couple of weeks. Then once that's done, we'll be looking at our focus on our next series of videos to help you better your business and get eBay success through optimizing what you do. It'll make sense. But for now, we're focusing on those 10. We also have the book. Obviously, that's up and running. If you haven't got your copy yet, go over there and check it out. It's well worth a read. There's a lot of information in there, and there's so much that you may not even have thought of. Just some of those points could be a tap on the shoulder to say, oh yeah, and you realize, do you know what? I haven't done that, or I could do that, or I should have been doing that. We have to move forward with the technology the way it is. We have to be working harder for what we want. It's not going to just land on your plate anymore. You have to work for it. And if you're not willing to put the effort in, it's going to have an impact on your outcome. So certainly worth checking that out. That's available on Amazon. Go over there and check it out. You've got paperback, hardback. You can put it on your shelf. You can dip in, dip out to those points wherever you want. There's work pages as well, so you can make notes and work on what you want to focus on. With that said, book 2, volume 2 is complete. We have a poll running at the moment, which I'll just double check, see how that's going. We'll just refresh my screen. And that's basically saying sort of like, do we release it now? Do we release it on my birthday? Do we wait for 3 months? And currently we've had 4 votes so far. So get your vote in. Every vote counts, because what you guys decide at the end of the week, I'm going to go with that decision as to whether or not we release it now, wait till my birthday in August, or wait the 3 months. Either way, you'd have the full set then once you have both of them. Well worth having, and when it's on your shelf and when you have the full series of all the books that we're bringing out, they are going to make much more sense and they're going to look great on your shelf. All right, guys, so that's there. So let's move on. So what else can we do? What else is going on now? Actually, fun fact, I was watching a video earlier. Did you know, now I could be wrong, so correct me if I am, but there was a video from a YouTube content creator that actually mentioned that Commonwealth Picker owns Bonanza. Didn't know that. Well, best of luck to you. That's all I say. No wonder you're doing so well at the moment in your platforms. Not sure how that works, but anyway, maybe conflict of interest. No, not conflict of interest, would it be? I don't know. Anyway, well, best of luck to you, Kevin. That's great work. So yeah, getting back to where we were. So we have our offsite advertising that we do. We have eBay Mag that we're now pushing hard into that field that seems to be working for us. We'll see how it goes. We'll report back regularly to let you know whether it's having an impact in the positive or the negative, any particular areas. We've got the top tips going. We've got more listings to be coming and putting up at the moment. We obviously have a limit as to what we get for free on the UK site. We're nearly to the halfway stage. We're allowed up to 1,500, so we could pretty much double what we've got on there now and keep it moving. And the platforms, eBay platforms that we use in eBay Mag for, every other country gets shed loads more than we do anyway, so they're all free. That's rocking and rolling. So your thoughts, pop them in the comments below. Let me know how you're seeing things. Is there anything that you think may be worth going into? I know we report on the screens on the stats. Is it worth, or in your interest, would you prefer that we don't cover that quite as much in those screens, or just come straight into an after chat and just discuss the whole thing in length and do a couple of quick pop-ups? You let me know and we'll follow your interests. We want to make this as entertaining for you as possible. We want to make it insightful as possible. If the screens benefit you in some way, let us know, so at least we know that we're doing the right thing and it's certainly a series you want us to continue. We're looking at possibly covering another section as well in a series of videos. We're just working on that at the moment. Just a bit of a teaser there. We'll work on that, see how that goes. We want to do some more lives. We haven't done lives for a long time, and when we do, it's very infrequent. Do you want us to do the lives? If you do, pop it in the comments, let us know. And if you do, what sort of things do you want to be talking about? They seem to work for a lot of people. We seem to struggle to find the time, but if you want us to do it, then we will interact with the lives, and certainly we'll want to keep you entertained and obviously keep you informed of any changes that we do on the channel. Anyway, absolutely shed loads to do today, so let's get straight on with things. I hope you have a great day of sales, as I hope I do too. And remember, keep it real. Visibility is key to success on eBay. Welcome back to Stats and Stuff, everyone. This is episode 84 and it's July the 2nd and we're looking at the stats from July the 1st. So let's get straight in. Okay, so let's look at the breakdown. Let's see what we're looking at. So yes, page views total 348. We're not going to worry about this fluctuation. It is just a movement either way. It could just be marketplace. It could be eBay pulling back a little bit. It could be just a multitude of things, but 9%, 10% fluctuation is not the end of the world for us, but we do overall still need to be moving it forwards, definitely. We can see organic is still at the 2,500 mark on page views. So that's the majority of those page views are organic. So we should be seeing a lot more organic sales. there's just no reason for it not getting the sales. They're looking at it, they're taking it. We're getting sales. So there's no reason why we're not getting more organic sales, unless that halo effect really plays into gray areas on the way it pulls and decides it's a promoted impression, or something more nefarious. But I think it's more likely that that halo effect is very, very broad and covers a lot of areas that we are unaware of. Okay, so let's look at our next screen again, where we were looking at external. Okay, 27. Yeah, I don't believe that for a second. I know they fudged the figures 3 days after. They've been doing it since March. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not going to lose any sleep over this. It is concerning that it's staying low. What they're falling into removing and not reporting is open to negotiation and discussion, and certainly put your thoughts in the comments below. But I'm not losing any sleep over this, but I would like it to be higher, as it should be. Promoted, though, is another kettle of fish. Now this is not right. It's increasing, yes, okay, but it's increasing so gradually, something is amiss here. Now, 58 page views on promoted, that's appalling. The amount of impressions we get on promoted is very, very low. There should be no reason for this not being at least double what we're getting at the minute, unless, of course, there is either some sort of quirk or glitch in the coding which isn't producing enough promoted listing impressions, or if there's some sort of conflict with, maybe it's the search, maybe it's the with them trying to implement the old and the new search, so you have the choice. Maybe one side of that coding doesn't formulate enough visibility through the promoted impressions. Possibly that makes sense to me, as it could be that. It could also be that they're doing it so that you promote higher. I mean, we're not promoting higher. We've brought it down. We've brought it down to 13.1% from 20. 20 was making no bloody difference whatsoever to us, and it's ridiculously high. We did it to try and boost things and move things along. It doesn't seem to be having any effect whatsoever. So we've brought it back down to 13.1, and that doesn't seem to have had any effect whatsoever. So hopefully we'll see bigger profit margins in the sales that we do get. Let's just hope that the sales do continue to move forwards. Impressions by placement. Now, this is an interesting one. So we can see the split is continually staying at a level keel. That's 3/4 organic, 1/4 promoted ballpark, and it stays that way every single day. It doesn't gain, it doesn't lose, it just stays in that ballpark. The more concerning part, though, is that we've lost momentum within the top 20 search and rest of search. Again, could be fluctuation, but we need to be getting more top 20 rest of search. We just can't seem to break it. It seems to be always around the top 20 is always around 1,300 to 1,600. Rest of search is always between 5,000 and say 6,000-ish. It doesn't seem to fluctuate. The non-search is the one that does the big movements, which seems to be down to our offsite promoting, how many views we get from there, or impressions we get from there, where people are being drawn to the store and the categories. That I'm not worried about. We understand where that is. What is also in there, in that mix, in the non-search, is the placement and visibility in other people's listings. So we think the majority of that movement, because we were around like the 250, 300,000 impressions on non-search, it's down a bit from where it should be, and we think that could be part of the visibility where it's placing us or not placing us in promoted impressions. So that's why we started moving over to this new option to get visibility. It's eBay's sandbox, as we know, but this is also eBay's software, eBay's third-party app to official app to use on the platforms on other eBay countries. So we're using that placement of visibility in the front to boost our opportunities to get more sales, and it seems to be working. We can see pretty much 3 out of 4 days now we've had a sale through, at least one sale through these listings on the other eBay countries platforms directly, and that's increasing sales. It doesn't matter if it's one a day. If it's one a day, that's 30 sales a month more we'll get. Now, if we're averaging around about 25-30% profit margin on each of those, it's money in the bag. So why wouldn't we do it? We have no listing limits anymore for our account. Now, that's another point you have to understand. If you want to use eBay Mag, you've got to be aware of not how many free listings you get per month. That's not what we mean. It's your listing limits. So how many items, how many listings you can have active in a month for listing and sold. If you have no limits, or you have extremely ridiculously high limits, then this could be an option for you to think about. Also, this works better if you have multi-variations. It just does work better that way because you're not running it into any snags along the way. You can continually just update that one listing excuse me, as and where necessary. The advantages of the eBay Mag is it translates the language of to the platform that you're listing on. So if it was Italy or France or Germany, etc., Spain, etc., it will translate all of your information within your listing into that relevant country's language. So you're going to get better placement and keyword search within that platform for that country. So that can only be a bonus. That's working for us at the moment. We're going to keep that going. We had 8 sales yesterday. We'll see how today goes. We're worried, obviously, in the back of our mind, thinking we could end up with a 0 sales day. I can put your mind at ease. We've had 1 sale this morning. We woke up to 1 sale this morning, so it's not a complete wipeout today. We'll have to see how the rest of the day goes, see if we get some more sales on the board. It could be that the fact that because we're listing on our account, even though it's other eBay platforms, that activity of new listings is generating a bit more visibility too. There are a multitude of things that could be playing into this because obviously it is our account, but we're on multiple platforms. Now, is it the multiple platforms that are causing the additional traffic, or is it the fact that they all funnel through to the main account? So it's the main account that's got the most activity, and that's what's causing the visibility. We're going to carry on doing what we're doing. We're looking at 9 sales days for the month. Currently, I'm just going to double check. Now, it's going to be another 3 days before we reach a 0 sales day from last month. So we need to get through the next 3 days of days with sales in order to start decreasing that 9 back down again. So we'll see how things go. We'll see how that movement is pushing through. And hopefully we've now got some momentum going forwards. The year-to-date stats, obviously, they are only the UK figures. They are not the other platforms. It's just too much to work out the percentages and amounts. So we're keeping it pure, as it were, on the UK side. So you can see the UK growth. Hopefully, that will continue on its growth anyway. The other country platforms for the eBay listings are just additional, and that's good because we need to soak up that missing gap that we're losing out on. So we can see it's still green across the board on there. One-time buyers needs to increase. Obviously, we're a bit scary. That's very, very close to turning red. We're only 4.6% up year on year. So we need more buyers, new buyers, additional buyers coming in to increase that percentage. But other than that, everything is still moving in the right direction. We want to be hitting at least year-on-year growth. eBay supposedly controls the accounts to, you can only grow by, I think it's either 65% per month or 65% year-on-year. I can't remember exact figures, so if you do know them, please pop them in the comments below. But as long as we're pushing above that weight, then we're going to be happy. We're currently sitting at 186.7% up. Granted, last year was an appalling year, so the percentage up is going to be a bit not quite what we think it's going to be, but we also have our main figures and we know where we want to be. We're on target for that already and smashing it, so that's great. The top 5 categories, well, we can see that they're getting a bit close now. I mean, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place is anybody's game. Any of those could move at any minute. First place is in no damage to being moved off that first spot at the minute. But who's to say? Who's to say what's going to happen the closer we get into quarter 3 and moving on to quarter 4? Journey to success. Okay, it was a bit of a worrying start to the week. We were very, very low. We had a 0 first day. Second day was only like less than 15 quid. We've had a good day yesterday. We've bumped it up to 185.17. So that's a good movement to where we want to be going to. I think we definitely can get there. I mean, even looking at this, if you're looking at 3 days in, you double that. So that's just under 400, so 380, 390. And then you've got that additional last day to get that 110. So anything is possible. We'll just have to see how it goes. Okay, so moving over to the YouTube stats, we can see that we are now getting so close. We got 2,617 subscribers. You guys are amazing. And watch time, 3,517. So I actually reported it wrong on screen before. It is actually 483 hours remaining, and we have 36 days left to do it. So well within our grasp now. And then once we get to there, we can then start doing the memberships. We can start doing some promo giveaways. We can do some much more things to do, much more we can do for the community, not just giving information. We can make it a bit more fun. So you guys rock. We're going there. We're going to get there. It's going to be an amazing feat for us. It's been a long, long road this last year. We are just talking thousands of hours put into this. It was initially just somewhere to vent, somewhere to talk, somewhere to find a community to speak with and chat with and get our thoughts out. And it's turned into so much more. It's become a business all unto itself, not in a negative way. I don't mean to say that I'm here to make money off everyone. That's not what I mean. But the community is key. That's number one. The fact that we can make a bit of revenue on the side, which is going to soak up the losses on eBay, and at the same time will just help us give more to the community, expand and become more entertaining and have so many more options. It's just, I didn't think it was possible. And take me back a couple of years, I would never even have thought of it. It would never even have been a thought in my mind to do something like this. And it's down to you guys. Thank you so much for the support, especially with a book. I mean, that's obviously, yes, it's not hundreds of sales, it's not thousands of sales. So what? At the end of the day, this is for the community. It's for me. It's for everyone, and it'll gain traction. It's just a bonus, and just from the pride level of being able to say that I've produced another book is just something else, and it's not a sci-fi novel, which is obviously what my first one was, but there we go. So yeah, so where are we going from here? Okay, so well, let's see. I mean, we've got the eBay Mag, which we're now running on multiple country platforms. Let's just double check. We've got that going on ebay.com, eBay UK, eBay Canada, eBay Australia, and eBay Spain now. Canada's got absolutely no traction whatsoever, but I'm just going to leave it in the background. It doesn't do any harm being sat there. I think, well, Australia's got some traction, so that started moving. .com's got some traction, so that started moving. Still going to wait for Spain, see what happens with that one. I think looking at realistic expansions that protect ourselves, we don't want to do Germany. I mean, we're covered, but it's just too much hassle. There's too many scams that have come out, for me personally, from my experience, from accounts that have come from the German platform. So I'm going to avoid the German platform going forward. I don't want to do it, even though it may be a large community of buyers out there. It's not for us. And that's nothing against anybody from Germany at all. I mean, as a whole, countries are countries. There's going to be scammers everywhere. But we just had a ridiculous amount of scammers coming from Germany, and it just got to the point where we blocked them completely. It just wasn't worth the hassle. I do think I may try Italy or France next. Haven't decided which one I'll go for. Possibly France. We'll see. I might put that up in the next couple of days. Start adding those in as well. We'll see. Let's just see if we can get some traction going on Spain. Obviously, we've got the Australian one moving. We've got the .com one moving. So they're definitely up and running and settled and bedded in. And that they'll get some green streaks going on those, and we'll be rocking with those. Spain needs to get a move on. For me, I'm just too impatient when it comes to that. But you can't be impatient in business, I know. But we want to see some movement on the Spanish platform as well. That'd be great if we can. So once we see a sale from Spain, then we'll probably look at opening up another country on there as well. That in place, we do need to start getting some more listings up on UK for sure. We need to get that up to probably 800 to 850, I think, within the next 2 to 3 weeks. We don't want to go too fast, too quick, too much, too quick with what we can manage. And that's the key, isn't it? Is making sure that you don't overexert yourself beyond what you can cope with. So even though we have 3,500 listings now, that's okay, because we're doing it from the same stock that we have from UK. So it's not an issue. That's completely covered. And yeah, we just need to see it moving. We just need to keep it moving, keep it going forwards. If we have a zero sales day or a low sales day, we're not going to get bummed out. We just need to stay positive. We just need to keep an eye on things. And we've reduced our percentages down on the promoted listing on the .co.uk site. The Australia, Spain, Canada, and US, we are actually only promoting between 10 to 15%. I think, if I remember correctly, US is at 15, Canada, Spain, and Australia are at 10%. So they're a lot lower than we're using at .co.uk, and we're getting sales on those platforms. Now, is that because the platform is more saturated in .co.uk compared to, the US is more saturated than the others, and then obviously UK comes behind that. And then obviously, as you go down the line, the less people that are listing on that platform for that frontline visibility, you're not having to promote as much to get that spot. So that's where we're working with that. I'm also intrigued. I want to go back over and double watch Kevin Stoic Reseller's videos around his percentage finding the sweet spot. Check his channel out. He's doing some good work there on the stats there. That's intriguing stuff. I need to watch the last one to see where things are up to. But there's some interesting things, and you've got to play with your account. You've got to experiment with your percentages if you are going to use promoted listing. You need to experiment with your prices and your categories if you can, to find the ones that work for you. You can niche out from a main niche if you do have just the one niche or the specific niche that you want to use for your stock. There's a lot of options, and it just takes that little bit of extra work. Sometimes it's not a case of bam, get it out, bam, get it out. And it does work for some, don't get me wrong. But sometimes you've got to go, okay, what have I got? What can I do? How do I need to go about it? What do I expect to get from it? Anyway, listen, guys, I hope you have an awesome day of sales. I want you all to let me know how you're doing. Get it in the comments. Let's shout out. Let's get above there. Get the negativity out. Let's start getting some sales and start being able to say, hey, I got this much. What an awesome day we've had. Things are getting better. That's what I want to be hearing if we can. If we're not, that's okay. If things aren't going well for you, get it in the comments as well. You're not negging. You're getting it out, you're venting it, you're getting it out your system. And if there's nowhere better to do it, it's here in this community, because we are like-minded people and we know where you're coming from. We are all in the same boat. So don't worry. If you're having a bad day, vent here by all means. This is what we're here for. Anyway, guys, I hope you have an awesome day of sales. If you like the content, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe button, notification bell if you don't want to miss anything. Also, there's a couple of videos up here YouTube thinks you might be interested in. Check them out. Might be something of interest. Anyway, have a great day of sales. And remember, keep it real. Thinking is good, but thinking outside the box, that's better. Welcome back to Stats and Stuff. This is episode 85, and we're now on July the 3rd, and we're looking at the stats from July the 2nd. So let's get in. So final screen is obviously the eBay Life official ultimate guide and workbook, which is the eBay guide to, or our eBay Life guide to eBay success. This is volume 1. Now we've just managed to get our hard copy in, so we now have a nice hard copy. We had the soft back, we've now got the hardback. This is a nicely put together book, and it has so much in it. It has so much information, a wealth of information in here. We have contents page alone, you can see probably just about. There are all the titles from the 100 down to 51 relating to the videos that we have in our top tips guide, countdown guide. And this is the expanded version, so there's much more you can dip in, dip out as you go, looking at parts that may benefit you to look into. They're all nice, easy, bite-sized pieces of very detailed information. And we also have a workbook section on each chapter for you to go through. So check it out. It's available on Amazon. Hardback, paperback, well priced, not overly expensive. We kept it down for everyone because it's about the community at the end of the day. Check it out. Volume 2 is as good as ready. So, well, it is ready, but we're not releasing it yet. We've still got the poll running on the community post. So have a look at that if you want to put in your point of view. There's a poll there for you. So we're looking at either releasing volume 2 straight away, waiting for my birthday, which is in August, or waiting the 3 months. If you could just pop a vote on there, that would be great to make our decision, because we just can't decide. We want to get it out now, but it's down to you guys. You know, you're the community, you're the ones that can benefit from this. Volume 2 covers from 50 down to 1, so between the two you'd have all the top 100 content in there for you, and that will be the first section of this library of books that we're putting together. And yeah, support the channel if you would. That would be absolutely awesome. Either way, let's get into the after chat. Let's break down some of these screens and let's look at what we're doing going forwards. Well, what a tumultuous day we've had. Okay, so let's have a look what's going on. We can see that the movement on these page views is small. It's gradual movements either way at the moment. It's not throwing out lots of impressions. There's no massive changes happening overnight. So yeah, so let's go through these. So we can see the total page views has increased. It's gone up to 411, so it's moving in the right direction again. We need to be getting that way back up there with the 750s as we were getting. So we've got a long way to go, and that's going to be a natural progression over the course of the next couple of months. Obviously, it's the quietest time of the year, so that's going to be a reduction in the page views and the impressions and the visits to the store, etc. So we have to accept that. That is what it is. It's going to be lower than we think it should be because it was growing and growing, and it's going to roller coaster through the year. And this is the quiet period. So we have to take that into account. Don't let it knock you back. We can see organic has taken the majority of those. That's coming at 317 page views. Out of the total of 411. So that's a massive amount of that traffic on page views is organic, which has grown slightly as well. That's gone up by 20%, but obviously 20% of 3,500 sort of thing. It's not a massive amount, but it is the right direction. External page views is, well, we report it every day. It's fake numbers. They're not real. We can't trust what they're telling us on these external page views. The reason for that is there's no transparency of what it's actually including, where it's coming from, which parts of the internet is actually counting towards these external page views. It says we're growing, but who knows? You know what I'm saying? We have to find other ways to monitor what's going on there. So we take this with a pinch of salt with the external, but it is a guide. If it's wrong all the time, we gauge it on those parameters. The page views for the promoted, again, 64. It's not lots, is it? Really? I mean, 64 in a day. It's just disgraceful, especially with 722 listings. We know it's not the propositions, because when we're getting visibility, we're getting sales. So we always have to think outside the box, constantly thinking. Think of new ideas, think of new ways, what you can implement into your day to get more visibility, get more traction to your store, and get more eyes on the prize. That's what it's all about. And we can tell from the impressions by placement, most of our eyes at the moment are in the store and the categories. We are getting a little in the promoting within other people's listings for sure. And that seems to be within the halo. This seems to be the majority of where we're getting our sales. When we do get sales, it still seems to fall into promoted. I'm sure if we completely stopped promoted and waited past 30 days, I'll guarantee there'll still be something coming through on promoted. Somehow they'd find a way to halo it, right or wrong. But we factor it in. We thought outside the box. We've priced right so that it covers for promoted. If it sells without a promoted, win-win. We get an extra little bonus kicker in the margin. That's awesome. What we can see from here, though, is that growth overall is pretty steady. It's a steady growth at the moment. It's not at the speed we want, but it is a steady growth. So we're going to take that as a win. We can also see it's pulled us out a little bit from top 20 and pushed us back into rest of search. Okay, that's fine. As long as we're getting that visibility within that top 20 in rest of search, I'm fine with that. Now, we do understand, obviously, it doesn't matter what comes up on impressions as such, because it could count it even if they haven't seen it. If it's below the fold and they never even get to it, it's still an impression because it's been calculated on that presentation of the URL and what's in that page. So even if they don't scroll to the bottom, it still counts. But if you ain't there, you're not going to get a chance to get scrolled to. So let's keep pushing into the top 20 in rest of search, I say. Why not? That's what we need. That's what we want. But at the same time, we need to be increasing that non-search. We want to get it down. I know we keep saying this, but I'm starting to think we need more. Because if it's going to throw us into a promoted listing halo effect in some manner, shape, or form, and we don't have a breakdown of what's classed in that non-search really, not properly, then we need more promoted. It's that simple. If promoted is what's going to pay us, we need promoted placement. We need promoted impressions. We need promoted page views. If that's what it's going to keep paying us on, fine. We've factored in the margin, but we need more visibility. It is down to that visibility. We need to get into the brightness of that lighthouse. So we can see it on the breakdown of the sales. So yeah, okay, 3 yesterday. It wasn't a 0 day after the 8th from the day before. So that's something. But I'm concerned over the next couple of days because we were talking about opening up into either France or Italy on their platform. Now, yesterday, we implemented all of our listings onto Italy. Now, let's just start before we go any further. I've had no issues with my listings, any of them, for as far back as I can remember. I mean, we are talking probably the back end of the year last year, maybe. There might have been one, I can't remember now, but certainly we're talking sort of like June-ish time last year. We haven't had an issue for a year. And then suddenly, within a few hours of getting our listings on Italy, we get 2 takedowns. We get 2 Italian listing takedowns from the Italian eBay website for 2 unbranded generic items. Well, all the other eBay platforms have been fine with them. Now, we think we know what happened with them. They basically, one was a t-shirt and one was a hoodie. And the common denominator on both of them is they had a print of an animal, not anything else, of a Black Panther. It was just a Black Panther's head. It was just a graphic image on the t-shirt, and there was one on the hoodie. And they've pulled them both down. claiming they're counterfeit. I don't know how they can be counterfeit because they are just generic images. They are literally generic images. The only thing I can think of is it's the wording Black Panther. And it thinks in its AI pulling that it's related to the Marvel Black Panther, which it isn't. It's got nothing to do with it. Doesn't look anything to do with anything. It is the animal. It's nothing to do with the movie and all that malarkey. And we make sure that we never do any branded stuff anyway. So this is very dumbfounding to us. So the fact that we had 2 within a matter of hours of getting our listings, 720 listings up on Italy, we've removed them all. We've removed all 720 odd from the Italy platform. We are not going to sell on the Italy platform because I don't know if it's pulled from Italy. Now, they've basically just said, slap on the wrist, nothing's going to happen to your account. You're fine, you can sell, but we're going to take these items off. So it is just a warning, I guess, if you call it that. It's not an actual warning, but it's more like a you can't sell these situation. But we're not going to risk it. We are so immaculate on our account. We will not risk this happening to us. So we're not going to take any more risks. If their AI is so fracked up that it's going to pull stuff that's got nothing to do with what it thinks it has got to do with, then we're not taking that risk. So we've removed all of them. There's plenty of sites there for us to use on eBay Mag, and it's a learning curve. As we stated in the community post, success, it's not just hard work. It's failures and trials and challenges and so on and so forth, and keeps knocking you backwards and forwards. And you've got to get through it. So, so we're not risking this one. We've removed the Italy, so we're not going to do Italy. So Germany's off because of the scammy customers. Italy's off for its crappy AI. So the only platforms left for us to consider... Let's have a look. So we're on US, we're on Canada, we're on UK, obviously, we're on Spain and Australia. Australia's doing well. We're getting sales on Australia, so that's a definite yes. We haven't had any sales on Spain as yet, and no issues with any other platforms. So it's definitely an Italy-based AI issue with those listings, and we're not going to risk it. It's just not worth the hassle. For the customer base that's there, whatever. They can get our standard listings from .com anyway, and UK if they want to search them. So I don't think, so getting back to what I was saying, I don't think it does affect the account. I think it just affects the account on that platform. So hopefully that's not going to have a negative effect across our main site, which is .co.uk. And it won't have a knock-on effect on the other sites either. But we're going to see. There's nothing we can do now. It's literally just touch wood and keep an eye on the visibility across the platform and see if our figures dip or grow. Because obviously, if you have takedowns, they can penalize the account and visibility. So that's not what we want. Now that we've expanded, we don't want that issue. We know it also, with the type of takedown it is, it's not a suspension or anything like that. It's just a slap on the wrist. You can't have this listing. It's gone. Wrongly as it is. But either way, it'll only last about 30 days on the account, the effect it may have. So we'll have to see how it goes over this month. I truly, truly hope that it hasn't been too instrumental against the account. But if anyone out there is actually looking at eBay Mag, using eBay Mag, it's not as bad as this makes out. I mean, this is just an eBay Italy issue. This isn't an eBay Mag issue. This isn't the other network platform issue. The other sites are absolutely fine with it. So it's definitely not an issue. It is down to them. But I don't want it to affect the bigger picture. So that's, oh God, knocking the phone over. So that's where we're up to now. Good job. I'm getting a new phone hopefully tomorrow. This one's all smashed to bits. So we need one for a fresh cha-ching in the morning, I think. So so let's have a look here. So sales. Okay, 3 yesterday, 8 the day before. So we're looking, I mean, I've averaged it down to 5. So that's okay. 5 is still way above the Noah's Ark effect. We'll see how the platform pulls us back down over the next few days. I'm hoping we don't have a zero sales today. We haven't had any come through as yet, but let's just see how things go going forwards over the next few hours. We can see the year-to-date stats. Now, a couple of things on here for me. I mean, maybe I'm just too analytical with it, but I'm concerned that the quantity sold is coming down. And I'm really concerned that one-time buyers is now gone down to being 1.1% up year on year. It is almost about to turn red. And if we don't get sales today, we could possibly turn red tomorrow. So I don't know. I mean, I'm bothered about it. I just like green, you know. I mean, don't we all? But we're still up. I mean, we're nearly up 187% year on year for value. Now, obviously, the absolute crux of it is your margin. So we're up on margin. That's awesome. We've doubled our margin year on year. So that's brilliant. We've almost doubled the value. So from that, you can work out that obviously we're getting better margin now than we were item for item than we were last year. And we're also increasing the business. So should I be worried about the one-time buyers being down? I want more. We want to grow. I don't want it to slip below. We've done so well to this point this year, or we've been lucky enough this year, however you want to word it, with everything that we've been doing. It would be a shame to see it dip. But I guess we're just going to have to see. I can't control it. I can't make people buy things. I can entice them, you know, with everything that we have available to us, the markdowns, the coupons, the newsletters, the promotion that we do, promoted listings, etc., offsite advertising. I mean, keywords, item specifics, the description, long tail keywords, the lengths we go to. There isn't any further I can optimize that way. So it is going to be up to the hands of the gods, I think, at the moment with that one. We'll have to see how it goes. I mean, I should be thankful. You know, I mean, we've had such an appalling month last month as far as zero sales days and low sales. And even with what we're getting, I am humbled to know that it is more than some are achieving at the moment. And I feel for them. I really do, because I've been there as well. I've been worse, much worse. Believe me, I've been much worse since starting on eBay. And I've had to build it up. I mean, I went storming out the gate. We got knocked through to below floor level. And then we've had to fight our way forwards and bolster our way up and just consistently keep improving and improving and improving our listings and our sourcing and our profit margin and the proposition and how we're getting it out there and learning and learning and learning. And it is always going to be a learning scenario. I get it. But we would expect to be seeing more by now than we are doing, personally. So journey to success, we can see that is about the halfway mark for the week. So we're kind of on target for where we want to be for this week. It would be nice to get more, but we'll just have to see. We're just going to have to see at this point. YouTube channel's going great, though. We can see that's storming along nicely. We've got 35 days left to the target that I want to be reaching. Now, that 35 days is a target I've given myself when I want to reach it by. The actual year is probably in about 3 weeks' time. So that's going to be a tough movement between those two dates. And the dates is early August. So the 3 weeks after the 19th of July, or 2 to 3 weeks, is going to be the hardest one, because that's where it's going to start losing hours, because they'll have fallen off the back of the 365 days that it calculates. So if we can get those 460 quicker, that would be awesome. But again, if we put the right content out, we make it interesting, make it entertaining, and people want to interact, then we should be okay. Even if we don't, We'll get there. It just might not be when we intend it to be. But let's keep aiming for the goal. Let's stay positive. So all that's left there is the book, which we can see, and you've seen the hardback version, which looks really, really nice as well. That's in a matte format, whereas the paperback one is a shiny finish. So it's a glossy finish. So you have the glossy one and you have the hardback one. Hardback one's obviously a little thicker because of the cover. But yeah, both of them look really, really nice. Either way, whichever you prefer to go for, if that's your thing. I'll pop that one on there for now. There we go. So yeah, so I mean, check it out. It could be something for you. You never know. Might be something to learn if it's something you're into researching and growing in your business. So for us, what are we doing going forwards? That's the question. Well, interesting one to think about at this stage. Now, for us, we're going to keep an eye on this eBay mag. We're going to keep monitoring what's going on with the Italy site now that we've removed everything again from the Italy site. And we're not going Germany. So, I mean, we might have reached peak here. I'm not sure about France. I'm going to have to ponder France if I want to go down that road. But there's definitely scope. UK was spot on. Excuse me. Australia's getting sales. .com's getting sales. Canada doesn't even get many visits. I mean, I'm going to leave it there because it doesn't cost me anything and might get the odd trickle here and there. Spain, we have had Spanish sales in the past from the .co.uk site. So I'm hoping that now that we've got it on to their site directly and it's in Spanish, then we should get some more visibility from that in time. So that could just be, it needs a little bit of time to bed in. I don't know. Each of these platforms, codings will be slightly different where they're up to within the implementing of certain code updates. Common UK and probably Germany are quite early updated sites. The Australia one I've noticed is pretty up there as well. It's got all the updates that Com's got. So, I mean, I don't know if they use that as a testing site, possibly. But are certainly working well for us. So if that is the case, then we should see an improvement on the other sites once they've implemented everything from there, if that's how it works. For the rest of this week, I want to say I'm going to be listing some new listings, getting some new stock up. We'll have to see. I just want to tweak this eBay mag a bit, play with it for a little bit and see how that's going. Might go into the listings on the individual sites, do a little bit of tweaking at site level as opposed to just eBay mag or ebay.co.uk. So we'll have to see how that goes. Sorry, I've got a cat attacking my leg here. So yeah. So the question is, how are you doing? I mean, what have you been doing differently? We've got our strategies in place. We've talked about them to quite some lengths over the last few months. If you have any avenues that you're trying out, I mean, if you're in the UK, for example, if you know of any sites that you're using for cross-listing, we just don't have anything here that we can think of that would take our stock. S is a no-go because obviously it's not vintage stock. We don't really want to go down the Facebook Marketplace route at the moment, although it is looking like it's the only option available to us outside of eBay. But we don't want to be doing local visits and things like that. We want to try and get it so we can ship it out to them. So we'll have to see how that works. I've got to do some research on that, see if that's something that would even work for us. other than that, it's just going to be a case of keeping an eye on things. I think at the moment we're just coasting by, seeing how it's going. Focus on getting some the content up to speed for the channel. We have embryo ideas of the next section for volume 3 and 4. So I might need to put some time in to do some research for those as well. So there's lots of things being juggled at the same time here. So we're not, what's the word I'm looking for? We're diversifying because we can't rely just on eBay. But we know we eventually get there, and we want to get there quicker. The sooner we can, the better. So this is why we're trying these other options. Now, gone, like we say, are the days of just get your listing on eBay and away you go. We're now looking at eBay. We're looking at eBay Mag. We're looking at offsite advertising through other avenues. We've got the channel. We've got the books. What's next? I mean, what else can there be? Yeah, we'll have to see. I can't think of anything else that we'd even have time for at the moment. It is literally a total, between the three, it is a total time suck. I mean, we literally put in full-time hours on each business. Full-time hours on eBay, full-time hours on the channel, and full-time hours on work on the books. Trust me, I literally do 120 hours a week plus. I need to try and find some time management skills myself beyond where I'm at to bring that input down time-wise so it's more efficient, so that I can actually have more me time and family time. I need to make more family time. I can feel the burn coming, and it's trying to hold it back. But that could just be because we've been forward producing a lot of content that we've been getting on the channel. We've been putting a lot of work and research and diligence into the eBay stuff as well, and the book, or the books, so anyway, I'm kind of phasing out here. I do apologize. So yes, guys, let us know what you're doing. Let us know how things are going. I have seen all your comments. I know I've liked and hearted most of them and not put as many comments on as I'd like to. Don't panic. It is not that I'm ignoring you. It is literally a case of I'm saving it up for the your thoughts and comments video, so I can actually give my views there. So check those out when they come out and they drop. Check out the rewind videos as well. There's plenty there for you to check out on the podcasts. Either way, it's all good. It's all good. So guys, listen, there'll be a couple of videos up here for you to watch if you want. If I've got the right way, yes, up there, yes, top and bottom. And there'll be some post things coming out if you want to look at some playlists. With that said, let's focus on the business. Let's get the platform moving. Come on, eBay. Let's give us some sales, give us some visibility. We're thinking outside the box. We need to get to the point where it's a case of there isn't even a box, just the whole thing counts. Have a great day of sales, guys. And remember, keep it real.